I want to welcome everybody to the Grandparents Connection podcast. This is stories about grandparents that's raising their grandkids. Also, we want to introduce you to some people that we have here today to tell you about their experiences and how they got their kids and how they raising their kids and where they going and where they been. You know, everybody knows that it's hard for grandparents to expect to raise their grandkids. It's amazing how many grandparents are raising their grandkids. And just want to welcome you guys in. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. And also, we go on TikTok. Yes, that's a surprise for everybody. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to my wife, Cheryl. She is the director of the Grandparents Connection.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Lambert. I'm the director of the Grandparents Connection. And I want to say happy Grandparents Day to everyone that's watching us right about now. This is our 19th annual Grandparents Connection year. We've been in business since we received our grandchildren. I will tell you later on about our story, but we would like to get to everyone to introduce them because everybody has something to do on this wonderful, glorious day that God has given us. And let me go to the next person.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Brown. I am treasurer for the Grandparents Connection, and I've been with the Grandparents Connection for, I know, over 5 years now.
Hi, I'm Jackie Brown. Rochelle and I adopted our 6 grandkids. We worked together in raising them. They're now young adults, most of them, all except for one. He's 16, he'll be 17 very here shortly. We have one that's now a doctor, a PhD, a doctor of psychology. We have one that's a medical assistant, and we have 3 others that are in college pursuing higher education as well.
My name is Eva.
My name is Lagertha Hammond Geary, and I'm a grandparent and a relative caregiver, and I am on the board of the Grandparents Connection.
Hi, I am Nicanora Montenegro. I am a grandparent. I'm a grandparent of 2 younger children, but I'm also a relative caregiver. I had been with the grandparents for I think the past 5 years because we had been attending meetings even before the pandemic.
Yes.
About 2 years even before the pandemic, and at this time I am assisting and helping grandparents connect with other resources in the community.
I want to thank everybody for being here today. You know, like I said, you know, it's tough raising grandkids after you done raise your own grandkids. Also, we're going to take the first questions.
The first question I'd like to ask the grandparents is, how did you get into this situation with your grandchildren or relative caregivers? Would anybody like to answer that question?
Yeah, we got into the situation because our oldest son was incarcerated, and his wife wasn't a very good caregiver or carekeeper of the grandchildren. So instead of letting CPS get involved, we decided to step up and take care of them. So we ended up adopting all of them. We had them from 3 of them from birth, and the other 3 others from a very, very early age.
Next question.
How did you get in the circumstances of keeping your grandchildren?
I was currently living in Arizona in 2008, and I came back to San Diego. And when I came back to San Diego, I was homeless. I was getting a divorce from my husband, and my niece had a baby, and she had been incarcerated. And so the child went into foster care until she went into drug treatment. And so when she went into drug treatment, they gave her child back. But she was unable to care for her. And so she found me, and she was like, I need help. And so I saw that she needed help too. And here was this beautiful baby girl. And so I got into the shelter, and I started a guardianship process. And I was able to get housing, but later on I became CPS involved through my niece. And so they helped me. CPS helped me, and they helped me to get housing. I was in St. Vincent de Paul, and so I started my life over with a baby and a teenager, and so it was very difficult. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a place to live, and I didn't have I couldn't really meet the basic needs, and so basically I was starting my life all over again with 2 children. And so I ended up getting a job. I ended up getting housing, and so I ended up getting a second child. I ended up getting my granddaughter, and then after that I ended up getting my grandson. And so I ended up with these children who didn't have anybody to make sure that they went to school, make sure that they were fed, make sure that they had clean clothes. And so I did that. And now my granddaughter is 16. She'll be 17 this year. My grandson is 21, and my great niece is 14 years old. And my granddaughter next to me is 9 years old, and I've been helping her mother raise her, and also forming a bond with my daughter and my granddaughter as we, go along through life to strengthen our relationship with each other. So at first it was difficult. It was real difficult because I didn't have anything, and I didn't have support. I didn't have a partner. I didn't have anybody to help me. So I had to do it by myself. All my children were grown, and on their own. So I had to figure out what was best for me at that time to be able to get the things that I needed.
Nicodora, you're a relative caregiver.
Yes.
So tell us about
Yes, I
your
am a
situation.
relative caregiver. I am the oldest among 14 children. And being the oldest, there's so much responsibility. When my sister was born, and that is Janice Montenegro, she's the 9th among the 14 children. I was not there when she was born because I was in college, and I was able to see them and her twin at almost 2 years old. So when I came home, I already noticed that something is different from, on them. So I really started studying what was wrong with the 2 of them. And I even researched. I went to the hospital where my mom was, gave birth, and really, research, talked with the doctors, what was wrong, what happened in the birth process, were they on forceps or whatever, because I was trying to understand the cause of the retardation that the 2 were having. Then after that, because it was only a 2-month vacation, so after the research, when I went back to the university where I studied, I was taking psychology. I delved into abnormal psychology, child development, and child psychology to really study the cause of mental retardation and other birth defects on the 2 kids. There are twins, and the other one did not survive. She passed away, I think, at about age 4, and I was not even there because I was in college. So I made it a point that I will do something when I come back after graduation. So after graduation, while I was working, I was already with the family. I tried to not only take care of her, but put her some therapy,
Right.
because it was really very difficult to, at the time, it's difficult to put them in mental retarded
Take care of
school or what. because it will take a long drive, and then I have to take them there Sunday evening and then pick up Friday evening, and they have to be left alone there. And I also found out that there were several abuses there, so I could not really afford to let her stay there. So while I was working, I was actually working on her too,
Right.
putting her into therapy, and I used a Skinnerian approach in order to train her. That's why I was already starting to care for her. But it's not only really caring, but also educating my family about cases like this and how the family should be able to support a person like this. So I'm so happy and glad that all siblings understood her case, and so she's actually the center of the family even up to
Right.
now. All siblings really love her very much. But since I'm the eldest, she had been under my care. So up to now, I'm caring for her.
Yes.
Good. Thank you. The next question is, how did you find out about the Grandparents Connection? Rochelle?
I found out about the grandparents connection through the kids' other grandmother on the other side, their mom's mom. She's the one that introduced me to the organization, telling me that I could get help for the kids through grandparents connection. And so I came to the first meeting, and I really, I enjoyed all the information that was given to me. So I've been coming ever since, and they've been helping me out. So
What's the question?
Question was, how did you hear about the Grandparents Connection?
I heard about the Grandparents Connection through the kinship program because I was able to get some services and resources, and my navigator told me about the program and gave me the Grandparents Connection guidebook, and told me about the meetings that they were having. And at that year, they was having a symposium at the Jacob Center on Euclid. And so I went down there and I met a whole bunch of other grandparents, and I was like, well, this is nice. This is really nice. I can, because, being alone and raising children and working, you don't get to meet a whole lot of other grandparents. And I didn't get out a whole lot. So I was like, well, this, I can, while they're in school, I can go and I can meet other people who's going through the same things that I'm going through. Because I'm like, I need some help. And so I got the connection, and I got the cards, and so I was like, okay, well, this is something that I could do. This is something that I want to do because, I just needed to be around other people that understood what I was going through at that time, because it was a lot. It was a lot for me, and so I started coming to the meetings.
Nicanor, how did you find out about the grandparents?
I really did not know that there is a Grandparents Connection organization that existed. Until one time, I met Mrs. Lambert at a UDW general membership meeting. And, while we were conversing and talking, she was discussing about grandparents. And I got so really, really amazed. So I said, invite me in one of your meetings, something like that. And since then, Mrs. Lambert had been inviting me, and we had been meeting at the Jacobs Center, right?
Yes.
And it was really an aha moment for me when I had been attending the Grandparents Connection, because that was the time that I realized that there is such a community sector. There is such a group in the community. The Grandparents Connection, that not just the Grandparents Connection, but there's a lot of grandparents out there that are actually unnoticed. Grandparents Connection that should be given attention to, because we have to understand the great contribution of the grandparents in rearing children. That's why I became active with the grandparents, because wow, this sector of the community plays a vital role in developing the youth. And that for me is very important, because we grandparents are nearing our sunset, and our grandchildren are starting their sunrise. But what kind of sunrise will they have
Right.
if we do not have that service for the grandparents who are very much in need of support in order for them to support the kids properly.
Can you tell me, Rochelle, how long have you been with the Grandparents Connection, and what is it that you do for the
I've
Grandparents
been-
Connection?
It's been over 5 years. I don't remember the year it started. But what I do for the Grandparents Connection is I help with taking in our dues for the Grandparents Connection. I help with organizing whatever is needed through the Grandparents Connection, and when it comes to different things like our turkey drives, getting names and making phone calls, making sure that we have everything set up, you know, in coordination with you and Cliff, and you know, making sure that everything's set so when the event it comes, it runs very smoothly. So it's something that I'm very proud of what I do.
There you go.
We're thankful for what you
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
do. What's the question?
What is it that you do? What is it that you do for the Grandparents Connection, and how long have you been doing it?
I joined the Grandparents Connection in 2017, and I do whatever Miss Lambert tell me to do. Whatever it is. But mostly supportive services. If a family needs something, she'll call me and ask me if I have a resource, if I know any community services where the family can go to get their needs met.
Right.
And Nicanor?
Yeah, I said, I think long before pandemic, when I got to know and I've been attending with grandparents, and my role is whatever Mrs. Lambert also tells me to do. Anytime she calls me, and you know, whatever available time I have, if I have available, I can never say no to this lady.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's only when I really don't have the time, but even if I have a small time,
Yeah.
I would always come. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay, the very last question is, what does the Grandparents Connection do to help you and your family?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
they've done a lot from to help our grandchildren, assisted them with toys and clothes during the holidays and things like that, and with some finances for their education. So I've been a very hard worker in terms of trying to provide for these kids. So the support that the Grandparents Connection has provided our grandchildren has been a wonderful thing. I can't speak highly enough of all the efforts of all of you that you give up your time, your energy, and your resources to help kids that you know not of, that would not have help otherwise.
Thank you. Michelle, you have anything to say?
I was just gonna say that it's been really a blessing because, you know, raising kids when you've already raised your family, and you think, okay, got them out the door, and then
Yeah.
then you get the other set.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way ours came to us, you know, we end up having to go to the hospital and get them from the hospital, the twins.
Right.
You know, it's just, you get put in situations or scenarios that you don't expect. And the Grandparents Connection has really helped as far as the kids, you know, just like you said, the resources that we've had, you know, telling us what we can do, and you know, different holidays and things that the kids get, you know, they appreciate it. And so for us, me and Jackie, it's been you know, kind of rough because he's done a lot of majority of a lot of things for us, but we appreciate everything that the Grandparents Connection has done to help us, because you know, like he said earlier, we're down to one now. We have one that's 17. Everybody else is just kind of, you know, up there now, you know. And we're so proud, you know. And I think a lot of things, like he's worked really hard with my granddaughter, and as Cheryl and Cliff know, she's a doctor now. She's a psychologist. And, you know, and then we have one that's a medical assistant. And, you know, we don't know how far she wants to take it. You know, she may want to go further into the field, but it's giving them opportunity, you know, and the resources give you opportunity. So we do appreciate it.
Can you please ask me the question.
Okay. What does the Grandparents Connection do to help you and your family? That's the last question. What is it that you like?
The Grandparents Connection has helped me in my family in so many different ways. They also, they helped me be able to take them places, let them have fun together, and my grandchildren get to see other grandparents having fun with their grandchildren. And when it comes down to holidays, it helps me provide a dinner for them and presents for them, and not only just the gifts, but memories of the times that we spent together, and and us as grandparents watching our grandchildren grow, and grow and be happy, be happy and be safe, and it has done so much for me throughout the years, especially the things that I couldn't provide to them. I couldn't provide the money to take them to SeaWorld, and I never thought that we would be able to go to Las Vegas and have a holiday there, and be able to just, spend time with each other during the holidays when it's very important, and be happy, and most of all be safe, and so that has helped me be able to take care of them and give them the things that I can provide on my own.
It's not only actually what the grandparents had helped me and my family, but other families out there, particularly when grandparents have been distributing laptops, the computer to the kids. That was wonderful, and my granddaughter was, a beneficiary of that. But that's not only one. One thing I like with the grandparents is when we distribute turkeys and freebies, meaning when we distribute turkeys, it's not just the turkey itself, but with a basket full of groceries that go with it. But one thing I like with it is that we have a lot of grandparents out there who cannot drive because they are disabled, or they don't have cars, or they are sick. There's no means for them to drive and pick up the turkeys, but they are being delivered at home. Oh, that's a wonderful thing, and I get a lot of thank yous from different families because as if they felt that they are left out because they cannot go out to pick up, and yet it is delivered to them. That is a very wonderful gift that we give to families out there. And those who can drive, they can now drive and pick up these turkeys that we give for Thanksgiving. And that's giving a lot of Thanksgiving blessings to different families out there. And then bringing them to SeaWorld, a lot of kids and a lot of grandparents, that's their first time to go to SeaWorld. And not only SeaWorld, but on Christmas, we were giving out fresh Christmas trees. Wow, that was wonderful because, I think last time I picked about 3 Christmas trees and I delivered it personally to 3 homes. And that is a Christmas blessing, and the kids were very happy while they were getting the fresh pine tree out of my car's roof. And they were so excited about having their Christmas tree, fresh tree. Oh my goodness, these are just a few of what the grandparents do. Aside of course for the gift backpacks and the school supplies that we give out, and also toys and the toy drives that we give to kids. That's really wonderful.
I want to thank all of you all for coming. I appreciate it. This is wonderful to me and to my husband
And to the
and to
organization.
the organization that we're building, that people believe in what God gave me as a dream. I would have never known that it would come to pass like this, to see so many people happy about the services that God used us to give to the world. Because it's not just done in San Diego, it's done in Texas, it's done in Atlanta. You know, it's done in Las Vegas. We're going to meet a new group up there where we go, and it's just moving right along. We had a person call us from Kentucky, you know, and it's just moving right along. And we received this dream when we came out of our leadership class at Word of Life Worship Center, which is our Pastor Miller, and we came out of that class. I told him, I said, God told us to go out and find other grandparents. He said, is that so? He said, what you gonna do with them all? You bring them to church or something?
Oh,
And I told him, I said, no. We received our grandchildren when we first came to the Word of Life, and we were homeless when we got there. And from that, you know, from that part on, we didn't know what to do. So we did a 10 News clip, and 10 News, you know, helped us to find, you know, housing and things like that we needed, because we lost our houses and our cars and our jobs and everything, and my husband became sick. And it was just like everything just went wrong all at one time, you know. But I know now that when everything goes wrong, God is trying to give you something bigger.
Yes.
We would never knew that, because we was fighting to keep what we had. What we had was not big enough.
It wasn't ours.
It wasn't ours. So
wasn't ours.
We had to learn that, and we had to start all over again with the kids. A judge named Judge Huguenot brought us our children, you know, from the courthouse, and she told us to go out and find other grandparents, and she better not never see us again. That these kids are ours to raise, and you go out and find other people to help like yourself, and that's what we did, and that was 19 years ago. And so we're very thankful that we were obedient to do what God asked us to do. And we thank you all for coming today. We appreciate it. And I thank my husband for allowing me to help me bring this dream to pass, because I'm a dreamer. And I write down everything at night, and I get up next morning and I do just that. And he was like, where you see all these people from? Me talking to all these people. I have no clue, but I do exactly what I'm told. And I thank him for believing in me
It's not easy.
to get you all to arrive. So I look at it as we have arrived. We're being obedient. You have one more child to go. All of ours are done. We've raised 3. Yeah, 3.
From birth.
And from birth. And you have 1 left. You're just beginning.
Yes.
I have 2.
And you're just beginning. And it's such a blessing, because now I have the knowledge, you know, to really pass it around, because we did a wonderful job with our grandchildren. And they promised they wasn't going to bring theirs back. As we told, we don't have a revolving door, and they promised they wouldn't do that. So I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful for our pastor, you know, believing in us, you know, through this journey, because he's been with us, you know, 23 years, but we've been doing this for 19 years since our leadership class. And it just really opens doors. You just have to stay on that path. Don't get off your path. Stay on your path. And blessings are there for you. And all we asked for was our help. That was it. We didn't ask for anything else. We just wanted our help. And so we just want to say thank you, and happy Grandparents' Day to everyone.
And
To
I want-
everyone. And my husband might have something to say.
I might have.
He doesn't
Well,
talk much.
I want to thank everybody for coming to this podcast today. I believe this is our second one, and there's going to be many, many more. At this time, I want everybody to pick up their phones and go to the podcast, go to your YouTube, and everybody at the table, break out your phone. And I want everybody to, I want everybody to
Oh,
like.
okay. You gotta go pick up. Okay, they gotta go from the airport. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you
want
know
I want
that.
everybody to like on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
We did that already.
Yeah, do it all the
You're on
time.
there right now?
Do it all the time.
Oh,
You're-
you have to
you're-
do it all the time?
You're on there now. Okay? And I know it's frustrating, you know, because we were stressed out when we first got our grandkids. We were stressed out, and I was mad. I thought I was done. I had one graduating high school. Thought I was done. But everything worked out good.
Called the Grandparents
On
Connection
Facebook?
on YouTube.
On YouTube.
YouTube or Facebook. Yeah.
And we thank you, everyone, and we want to close it down. Okay.
I
Thank
want,
you.
I want
Thank
to,
you.
I want to thank Mike and Stephanie behind the cameras.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes.
Mike, photos by Mike. Yeah. Get him a pitch out there. All right now. Thank you.
Thank you, San Diego.
Yeah.
Thank you.